Good evening. How are we tonight? So, just a couple things. Um, First, a little house cleaning. I made reference this morning to comments made by the Valkyries coach about Caitlin Clark, about her throwing shade on Caitlin Clark. And people asked me for the link to where I got that info. So, just so you guys know, the link to that story was a story from NBC Sports. Um, that link is now in the description of this video. So if you scroll down or go and click more and you can get into the description of the video, you should be able to do that because that's where you put all your backup. You should be able to click on that link and read that story. Okay. So that's number one. I just wanted to let you guys know I meant to put that in this morning. I was tired. I kind of forgot to do that. But it is in there now, along with stats from last night's game. Secondly, um, to the person who admonished me for giving a pass to the Lynx for losing last night because Collier was out. Well, first of all, let me just say something. Collier is as important to the Lynx as Caitlin Clark is to the Fever, okay? And the bottom line is this. Last night's game was hard fought and a good win. I'm not denying that, okay? I love the Indiana Fever, okay? They are my team, my home team, even though I don't live there. We don't have a team in Boston. And even if we had a team in Boston, the team in Boston doesn't have Caitlin Clark, so the Indiana Fever would remain my team, okay? I'm all for the Fever. I've been cheering for them from the beginning. But the fact of the matter is that Nafisa Collier was not in the game last night, okay? And the Lynx did not have anything pressing to play for. So why risk injury before going into the playoffs? Okay, they had nothing to fight for. The Fever still have something to fight for, maybe a higher birth number, okay? So congratulations to the Fever. I'm not belittling their victory at all. It should never be taken that way. I made a statement of fact. Collier sat out the game, okay? I don't know what to tell you. She did. And I can promise you that the Lynx thought they had anything on the line, Nafisa Collier would have been in the game. So that's number two. Number three, just a couple things since I mentioned Nafisa Collier. You know, when we talk about the MVP, okay? And when we start talking about the MVP before the season starts, that's kind of ridiculous, okay? So before the season even started, it was going to come down to Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, which honestly, had Caitlin Clark not gotten injured this year, I believe that Caitlin Clark would be in the conversation. She was in the conversation last year as a rookie. She finished fourth, okay, in the voting. So I do believe with all my heart that Caitlin Clark would have definitely been in the conversation. But to start determining where the battle for the MVP is going to be before the first game of the season is even played is kind of stupid, because the most valuable player is not necessarily the player that scores the most points. It's not necessarily the player who gets the most rebounds. It's the player who is the most valuable to their team in the context of what that team has been able to accomplish. Okay? Which is why Kelsey Mitchell, it's valid for her to be in the conversation. Okay? And everybody pretty much felt that with Clark injured, that Nafisa Collier had a lock on this thing. Okay? But as it turns out, somebody named Aja Wilson is now very much in the lead to take this award. And I believe Robin Lundgren stated that she has his vote for the MVP for this season. So I'm just saying, okay, we start all of this posturing before the first game is even played. And we've already got all the finalists lined up for who the MVP is going to be. Well, we don't know that yet, okay? Larry Bird won 3 in a row, okay? Um, and he was the only MVP, the only NBA player to do so, quite frankly. But the Celtics didn't win the championship but one time during that three MVP win cycle, okay? And that was in 1986. So again, the MVP is the most valuable player to their team in the context of what that team has been able to achieve, okay? So we should let the season play out before we start that nonsense. Now, I have no strong feelings either way about who should win this, okay? I'm just saying that it's funny that everybody had this predetermined to be Nafisa Collier's, and now she's clearly not in the lead to win this thing. So let's see where it all falls out, okay? It's the end of the season. Now we'll know soon, okay? They'll be voting on this when the playoffs are over. That's number 2. Number 3. I don't know. It's one of many points I want to make tonight. Now, the other comment I want to make is just about Natalie Nakase and her comment throwing shade on Caitlin Clark. And I could have done this at the beginning when I started, but it kind of slipped my mind. You know, just because I think Natalie Nakase is probably the coach of the year because of what she's been able to do with the Valkyries, it doesn't mean that I think Natalie Nakase is a great person. I think that commentary about Caitlin Clark, I mean, there's nothing like kicking somebody when they're down. I mean, I don't understand why people feel like they have to uplift their own team by dumping on someone who is clearly the GOAT of the league, who is clearly, struggling with the fact that she's unable to play. Last night there was a post of her. I believe she made the post on, I think it was Instagram. I don't have a copy of it right now. But it was a picture of her after obviously she scored. You know how she does her usual clenching of her fists and yelling at the crowd? And underneath it, it just said, "I miss this so much." Well, you know what, Caitlin? We miss it too. So next year is coming, and I have no doubt that you will be game ready and you will blow the doors off the WNBA. There's absolutely no question in my mind, okay? So what do I think? I think Natalie Nakase is still the coach of the year, okay? I'm going to say this, and those people out there who have this thing about Stephanie White, I'm sorry, but you know what? She belongs in the conversation. This team's not doing this alone, okay? No team does this stuff alone. There is leadership on the floor, and then there's leadership on the bench. And Caitlin Clark is leading on the bench, but Stephanie White is the coach of the team, and she has managed to keep this team together. She has managed to get them into the help get them into the playoffs. She's not doing that by herself. This is a team. And by the way, this is a team. Okay, this is a team that respects each other. Okay? It's a team that takes care of each other. It's a team that hangs around together after the game. We saw a film the other night of them going to the Children's Museum. We saw Caitlin Clark playing with Sydney Colson's nieces and nephews. Okay? These are people who have a mutual respect for each other and have built a team. Okay? Even the newcomers who have been signed to hardship contracts are part of this team now. And we should be proud of that as Indiana Fever fans. Okay? Instead of trying to poke holes in that. All right? Accentuate the positive, folks, not the negative. And finally, I am being bantered about showing some Caitlin Clark high school footage. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to show some clips tomorrow, but I've got to be very, very careful about what I show so as not to get copyright strikes. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show some clips tomorrow, a couple of minutes here and there, of Caitlin Clark in high school. And then again, in the description of the video, I will put the link to the YouTube films where you can go and watch to your heart's content. But for me to rebroadcast in their entirety puts my channel at risk. I don't want to do that. I will also not just post them in the video itself, I will post the links. If you go to the front page of my channel, go to the channel page where all the videos are lined up. There's a little category called posts. If you click on that, I will make sure that the links to these videos are in there as well, so you can go in and access them at any time and watch them. Okay, I can post the links, I just can't rebroadcast in their entirety. So we will look at some clips tomorrow afternoon when I get home from work, and then I will make sure that the links are out there for you to be able to access them. That's the best I can do, okay? I've also got some other clips that I'm going to be showing in the future. I will do the same thing with those, but I will let you know that's what I'm doing. So that's where we are right now, folks. We got to wait. I think there's still a couple of teams finishing out their season. The playoffs start, I believe, on the 14th. I'm almost positive. And I will double check that, and we'll go over that again tomorrow. You won't hear from me in the morning. I'm opening the store tomorrow, but I will be out at 2. I will get myself settled, and then I will be making a video, and we will take a look at Caitlin Clark in high school. And you know what? It's pretty crazy. She had a 47-point game in high school. I believe she also had a 60-point game in high school. Okay? This was her sophomore year in high school. And if you watch her as a sophomore, you can see why she is where she is today. Okay? It's pretty evident. But one other thing before I go. I'm very disjointed tonight, okay? I'm exhausted from, I don't know what. Maybe painting my kid's room has, affected my brain. And then today was truck day, and that was a 14-hour day or whatever it was. But at a recent game, I don't remember which game it was, Caitlin Clark met with Briana Scurry. Now, anyone who knows women's soccer knows that she's a legend, okay? And I actually have a video of them I'm going to show you in a minute. And they exchanged shirts. Caitlin Clark autographed her shirt. Briana Scurry gave her a shirt. And she went one step further and gave her a pair of gloves that she wore. And I think it might have been the World Cup game. I'm not quite sure what it was, but I just want to show you this clip before I close out this video, because the one thing I want to say is if anybody has not read this book yet, On Her Game, okay? The subtitle of the book is Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports. Caitlin Clark is not just bringing eyes to the WNBA. She has opened the eyes of people to women's sports in general, okay? She's trying to become an investor in a soccer team, a women's professional soccer team in the Midwest. Aaliyah Boston has already invested in the Boston team. There is already a Boston team formed. Aaliyah Boston is from Worcester, Massachusetts. She's from my state. And she's already invested. Caitlin Clark is doing the same thing in the Midwest. She tried for Cincinnati. They did not get a franchise this time around, but she's still at it. Caitlin Clark, according to Sophie Cunningham, has brought millions of eyes, and she even stated this in a video, Sophie Cunningham, if not billions of eyes to not just the WNBA, but women's sports in general, here and internationally. Caitlin Clark has a massive following in the Asian countries. Massive, okay? So I'm going to just show you this clip. Women, you know what? There are a lot of guys out there who talk trash about the WNBA. A lot of guys out there who talk trash about women's sports in general. Women need to stick together and uplift each other. And this is a perfect example of what that is.
Caitlin, it's a pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you. You're an amazing player. It's an honor to meet you. And I'm hoping you're getting well soon.
I know, that's the goal.
I can't wait to see you back out there again. It's been fantastic. And some gloves for you.
Thank you. Oh my
I thought it'd be a little bit different with the gloves. Awesome.
Have fun. Yep, they will.
Caitlin Clark shared a special moment today at Gainbridge Fieldhouse when she connected with none other than U.S. soccer legend Briana Scurry. The two icons from different sports worlds came together in a way that fans will be talking about for a long time. They exchanged jerseys in front of an excited crowd, a gesture that symbolized mutual respect and admiration between two athletes who've inspired countless people in their respective games. But that wasn't all. Briana Scurry took it a step further by gifting Caitlin Clark something incredibly meaningful: her actual game-worn goalie gloves from the 2007 World Cup. That's not just a piece of memorabilia. That's history. These gloves carry the weight of one of the most important moments in women's sports. And for Briana to pass them on to Caitlin shows how much she believes in Caitlin's journey and the impact she's already making.
So, folks, I'm going to say it again. It's been a disappointing year. We get it, okay? We had hoped for so much more. And I'm one of the most disappointed people on the planet, not having the opportunity to watch Caitlin Clark this year. But you know what? As LeBron James said, this just means a big comeback next year. And I truly believe that. My point is, women need to stick together when it comes to sports, okay? Because I'm sorry, but across the board, I see so much misogyny out there, even just in the comments, and by some of the talking heads as well. This is a real problem for me. I will say that, okay? There is stuff that gets said about women's sports and about the WNBA that they would never say about the NBA, even though they've carried their own the weight of their own folly a lot of the time. Okay, we don't have to go into detail there. Okay, we could just talk about malice at the palace if you want. There's been plenty of black eyes in all of sports, because that's just the nature of the beast, quite frankly. But that's basically what I've got tonight, and I will be back tomorrow after work, and we will see some clips of Caitlin Clark in high school. I will talk to you all then. You guys have a wonderful night.